Joining us now is a Super Bowl champion head coach from the Baltimore Ravens, kindly calling back in here in late May, when things are always busy in the world of an NFL head coach. Head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, John Harbaugh, back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Coach?
Hey, Rich, doing great. Really happy to be with you, man. Always enjoy being on your show.
And I feel the same way of you coming on here. And man, there is, as always, a lot going on. You got your quarterback. You got him signed. You got him signed, sealed, and delivered. Where were you when you heard that news? I know you were probably getting ready to draft.
Yeah, no, I was actually in my closet in the morning. It was a couple of days before the draft, and I was getting dressed, and it was really early. It was like 5:30-ish. And, yeah, that's right. That's the same time you get in, right, Rich?
Yeah, sure. That's it. Pretty much. Yep. Uh-huh.
Sure.
Yep.
And Eric, who's normally more of a late night guy, and all of a sudden I hear, Harbs, you in there? And it's Eric's voice. And I'm like, oh man, this is either really good or really bad. So I popped out, and he said that Lamar had called him the night before, and that he thought we were getting real close and something might happen. And then it actually happened, a couple of days later, right before the draft started. So that was good news, certainly.
Obviously, and negotiations, as you know, in the NFL are rife with emotion and rife with drama, and obviously sometimes they go south. It just was so remarkable to me how you and the rest of the organization throughout the entire process had just the same message about how much you love Lamar. You can't wait to get him back. 200%, I think you said at one point he's coming back. And then, things like you sitting down for an owners meeting just as he tweets out that he's asked for a trade and things of that nature. Did you ever get frustrated throughout this entire process, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, it would probably be it'd be disingenuous probably to say no. I mean, of course, yeah, for sure. You get, frustrated and disappointed, or kind of pull your hair out sometimes. But we'd already built relationships. It wasn't like we're talking about people who didn't know each other, hadn't been through a lot together. So that was one plus. And the other plus, I think, was just the mindset that we kind of took was no matter what, we're responsible to keep our powder dry here, and not do something that's going to really jeopardize what's best for the team and organization and really for everybody involved. It would have been really easy to sabotage ourselves, and we didn't want to do that. So, just kind of step back and say, this is about business. It's not personal, even though it seems personal sometimes. It's not, and let's try to keep that in mind and make sure we keep our powder dry.
I was saying so many times throughout this process, it's sitting in this chair, in this microphone, that find someone in your life the way that the Ravens love Lamar Jackson. Like, that's what you need in your life. And I can obviously see the on-field stuff. But why do you love Lamar Jackson? Why does this organization love Lamar Jackson the way you do, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, it's just you make a commitment. We made a commitment, and we decided that we were going to do something together, and we'd been through a lot. And it's like any relationship. There's lots of things that aren't perfect. It's always like that. Things that need to be better or talked through or whatever it might be. And we try to do that as best we can all the time. But that's the direction we wanted to go. We made a commitment and we want to see it through. And we do. We like him. We love him. Respect him. And he feels the same way. And I think just once you decide to go that way, it's better to try to stick with it and make it work than it is just to bail at the first sign of trouble. And I'm glad we did that, and I'm looking forward to making it work and really trying to do some great things over the next few years.
John Harbaugh, coach of the Ravens here on the Rich Eisen Show, and you mentioned the commitment that you made to Lamar from the get-go, and it was apparent when you did turn to him in his rookie season, mid-season, and then reconfigure an offense on the fly, and the offense has been the way it is for years, and now you've got a new offensive coordinator in Todd Monken, Coach, and that to me is one of the greatest mysteries coming into the season. And I don't expect you to clear everything up, but what is this offense going to look like, Coach?
Yeah, well, hope it looks good. Hope it looks like an offense that's scoring some points.
I guess I should have said differently.
Line.
How will this offense look differently than the first few years of Lamar's tenure there?
Well, it'll be different. I mean, it's different. Obviously, different coordinator is going to have a different spin on things and a different style. And we were pretty well determined to just basically cast a wide net and really listen to all the different candidates and see what they had to say and what direction their vision for this offense would be. And when I started talking to Todd, it really was right away. It's almost love at first sight. It's like, I really understand what he's saying, and I think this would be a good fit for Lamar. Just being with Lamar for 5 years and being with, just the offense that I always kind of felt like the direction we would need to go when we had the players to do it. That's just the way he thinks. And so I'm excited for that part, but I'm also excited for the players that we brought in because that makes those things possible. I mean, coordinators, Greg Roman is capable of going different directions too, but the fact that we're going to have some guys around him, added some receivers, building on the tight ends, building on the running backs, building on a really good offensive line, that's going to give us an opportunity to do some things maybe that wouldn't have made as much sense in the past personnel-wise too. So all that, being part of it, I know Lamar does want to have more responsibility than he's ever had before at the line of scrimmage. That's the way Todd's built. That really got my attention. Lamar's going to be very responsible for making decisions at the line, and I love the way it's being taught right now and the way the system's being organized. And, like you said, we'll see what it looks like when we see it, but I'm excited about it.
Well, more verbiage is what Lamar said when he spoke on Wednesday. He also said something along the lines of running less, that he's going to be asked to run it less. Is that what your expectation is, too?
Yeah, I think there's certain types of plays that will be less in the offense. They're still in there. He's probably talking mostly about the counter quarterback key plays, the inside gap scheme runs that we really relied on the last 2 years down the stretches when we didn't, quite have, some of the stuff we wanted to do on the outside throwing the ball. I'm sure that'll be called less. That's probably what he's talking about mainly, but they'll still be in our offense as a threat. And there'll be a little bit more at the line of scrimmage. Verbiage, I think what he's talking about there is, what he can do at the line of scrimmage in terms of, using his voice to make certain changes and make certain decisions on plays that won't be quite as much locked in maybe in terms of the play call. So
he'll be asked to react more pre-snap, and then that's the decision that to be made on offense.
Yeah, right. Put it in his hands when we get up there, and we'll see what the defense has given us and make some decisions at the line. And Odell in the mix now. What was your first impression of him when you first saw him, John? When I started talking to him actually in November of the season, and we first started talking on the phone, and I had never talked to him before in my life, and he's kind of a star. He's got the big persona and all that, but when you talk to him, you realize how down to earth he is, Rich, and what a football guy he is, and he really at the stage of his life with his son and the things he's gone through, what his priorities are right now. I was pretty fired up to hear the things he was saying, and then through the whole process until he decided to come here just a month ago or so. He never wavered from that. He was very consistent with that. Everything he said was very honest, and he's thinking the way we're thinking. He wants to go win football games, so that makes me happy as a coach. And then in terms of a role that he's already played, I kind of got the sense that him coming in when he did, it was just another voice that wasn't either yours or DaCosta's or obviously Steve Bisciotti, if he was talking to Lamar, just a different voice. At one point in his press conference, he even directed the camera, "Hey, Lamar, if you're out there, I'm here now." Do you think he played an important role on that front? Yeah, I think he did. I think they had known each other before, and then that they were talking, and I don't know what they were saying specifically, but I'm pretty sure that Odell wanted Lamar to come back, and I'm pretty darn sure that Lamar was excited when Odell signed with us. So that had to be a factor. Definitely had to be a positive factor. So I'm looking forward to seeing them together on the field very soon. It's going to be fun to see what it looks like. And then what about the sense again, because you mentioned how the offense was, and now you've got a different personnel group to run a different offense, the sense that the Ravens are a place where receivers aren't set up to burn it up and succeed, that essentially receivers go to die in Baltimore. The fact that Odell says, "You know what, I'm going there." Is that a narrative that's real or it's not, Coach? I don't know. That's like, I get it. It's good to talk about, but I don't live in that world. I don't really care about that. I don't feel like I have to respond to everything, every opinion that gets written out there. Everybody's got them, that's what they say. And I will not quote the rest of that quote there, but I don't care what people think. I don't care what the narratives are. We're going to try to win football games, and we got good people that love being here. One thing we do like, Rich, is we do appreciate players and coaches that want to be here. We understand who we are. We understand what we stand for, how we play, what it means to play like a Raven. I think that people who watch the game have a good sense of that and respect it. So, guys that want to play here, that's the kind of guys we want. Guys that don't want to play here, I figure they don't want to play here because they don't want to play that way, the way we play. And I'd rather not have them in that case. So, we're pretty comfortable in our own skin.
So then, while I'm already opening that door about other people's opinions, do you read anything into the schedule, Coach? The fact that there is one nationally televised appearance, a Thursday night game in Week 11. You do have a game in London in Week 6, but there's very few under the lights that were handed to the Ravens this year. Is there anything to be read into that at all, Coach?
Well, let's see. We got the Titans in London. Then we have the Chargers on Sunday night.
Yep, and a Thursday before that.
We have the Jaguars on Sunday night. We got the Niners on Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got the Thursday night primetime game with the Bengals. So that's like four. That's 5 games.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Just throwing out the first 11 weeks.
No. Are we getting sniffly because we didn't think we got enough Monday night games? No. I'd like to have more home games. I mean, when's the last time we had a Monday night home game? We've had 20 of them since 2008. 5 of them have been at home, and we've won most of our Monday night games. So. Yeah, I get a little prickly about that one, but that's about the only one.
All right, John Harbaugh here on the Rich Eisen Show. Before I let you go, I have to ask you about this new rule with the touchback inside the 25-yard line, fair catch on a kickoff as well now. And I know you come from the world of special teams. I give you the floor and what you think of this new rule that a fair catch on kickoffs gets placed on a 25 if it's caught within your own 25-yard line. Coach.
You must have already read my quote on that. I mean, I said something about that. So you're trying to give me a call from Roger Goodell, aren't you?
No. I have a head coach of note. You've got a ring. You've been around a long time. You're a special teams guy. I would be remiss if I didn't give the floor to you on that, Coach.
Well, I think there's always the law of unintended consequences. And just to assume that because the ball's popped up and somebody fair catches it, there's going to be less helmet-to-helmet speed collisions, I think, is wishful thinking. And the coaches that understand how the play is really played out, I think, expressed pretty clearly that we think it's not going to be a safer play, in terms of that. And we're not even sure the play is as unsafe as they want to say it is, but because we're not exactly sure all those concussions are documented actually happened on kickoff plays. But, that's for the league to decide. So that's what they did, and we'll support it and all that. But like they know when I'm talking or whatever, you say what you think and you put it out there and have an honest conversation about it. And you're not playing politics with it or anything like that. That's how you have an open decision. So, if it ends up being good for the game, great. If it doesn't end up being good for the game, I'm sure it won't get voted back in next year. And we'll see how it goes and continue to try to teach football, the most effective way possible, the safest way possible, like we always do as coaches. And we'll see how it works out.
So what do you think we'll see? More squibs, more line drive kicks? Like what do you think first blush will be the way fans will see kickoffs now?
I think you'll see more variety of kicks. You'll see more squibs. You'll see more short, high pop-ups. Try to pop the ball up in there short and see if they can create havoc around the ball. There'll be a lot of collisions in front of the ball for that reason. You will see the ball on the ground more, slopping around. The difference between the college game and the pro game is the kickers can kick it higher, and the players can run faster. So those balls are going to be hit high, and the players are going to get down there underneath it. And then when a fair catch happens late, nobody's going to stop playing because a fair catch is going to be late in the play. There's going to be a lot of contact going to happen on those fair catches. So that's what we think will happen. Plus, I think people will return those short balls too.
You do?
Absolutely.
So, like,
absolutely.
like right around where? Like the 20, 15? You think they'll take it out? Is that the way you think? Honestly,
well, if they kick it to the 10, all I got to do is go 15 yards to get it past the 25. If they kick it to the 15, all I got to do is go 10 yards to get it past the 25. Good special teams group is going to be confident in their ability to do that.
Okay, Coach, I appreciate the time as always. How's your brother doing? How's Jim? How's he doing?
Yeah,
right now?
he's excited. They're going to be good, aren't they? What do you think? What's your prediction?
Oh boy, I am. Let me just tell you something, John. And I might be putting your brother in a tough spot here, but my mouth has been writing a ton of checks. It has been very. I have been talking with my chest for 2 years now, and it has been it's been awesome. It's just been nothing but great. I'm very bullish on this upcoming season. Very. Because we got the quarterback from last.
You're also humble, right? You're confident, but you're humble.
Well,
right? You gotta stay humble.
Yeah, I understand. I'm a Michigan man. I understand what I'm supposed to do. But when I show up in Canton, Ohio for the annual jacket dinner that I host, and when they start screaming OH at me, I get very mouthy, and that's when I write the checks. That's when I write the largest checks. But I'm excited. I'm glad to hear that Jim is too. Glad to hear that.
Do you feel like that's kind of your due after all those years of having to listen and endure what you had to for all those years?
By the way, great use of the word endure. That is a perfect word. Yes, correct. All of it, but it's just I also just like seeing everything go in the proper trajectory. I'm liking it immensely, and I'm all of it is great, and I'm just glad to hear that you're just as bullish, or your brother is as well, sir. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Thanks for the call.
Appreciate you, Rich.
Hey,
thanks, man.
Right back at you, John Harbaugh. Let's do this during training camp if you don't mind looking for my call at that point. Appreciate it.
Sounds good.
You bet.
Have a great weekend. Have a great week.
Right back at you. That's John Harbaugh, the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, back here on the Rich Eisen Show. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.